This is Guns or Treasure. So Poggers sent me a copy of Guns or Treasure and the standalone Parrots and Monkeys expansion for this review. So thank you, Poggers. Let's have a look. This looks like a lot of fun. So starting with the game box, the art is bright and inviting. It's obviously a really small footprint. It's a lift-off top style box, and on the back we have a little bit of information about what the game is like and a picture of one of the ships, such as it would be built in the game. Now this is a card-based game where players will build ships and then battle those ships for treasure. So that's pretty neat. My wife, Mrs. Old Crappy Couch, is a huge fan of the pirate motif. So as soon as we got a hold of this and saw the art, we had to get this out on the table. Now, when you open it up, there's a nice little card divider here. There's just over 100 playing cards in this pack, split into two regular, about 50 card decks for easy storage. When we look over at the Parrots and Monkeys expansion, since that's a much smaller deck, that's about the size of a regular French suited deck of 52 playing cards there. Again, very bright and inviting art, obviously calling attention to the new Parrot and Monkey cards that have been added to this standalone expansion. Now let's look at the game itself. First off, I want to point out that the cards are very nicely printed. Everything looks really crisp and clean as far as the actual text and print, as well as the art, which the art is pretty bold. So, I mean, they could get away with a lot. This is also kind of a linen cardstock. It's a little bit floppier than I'd like, but not bad. I've played with far worse. I mean, a modern pack of Uno cards is significantly lower quality than this. This particular card that I'm holding is actually a card count card. It tells you how many of each type of card is in the deck, so you can figure out odds when you're strategizing, which is pretty nice. Also, there are these little cards that each player can get that tell you the flow of the game. This game happens in 3 phases. The shipbuilding phase, where players build their ships. They use 12 cards over the course of 4 rounds to assemble the ships that they will then use in battle. Then there is the marauding phase. The marauding phase is when they battle their ships or escape with whatever treasure they have on board. And the final stage is the scoring phase, and that's where they add up all of the treasure that they escaped with, and whoever has the most wins. Now, the deck consists of 3 primary types of cards. You have your gun card, so these determine the firepower of your vessel. The treasure card, which of course this is what players battle over and determines the final score of the game. And the bomb card. Now, the bomb cards act as traps. So you can hide these on a vessel, and if somebody attacks your vessel and one of your cards is a bomb card, both ships blow up, sending all of their guns, treasure, and pieces down to the bottom of the sea. So there is a lot of strategy involved, even though there's also quite a bit of random chance. And if you want to add even more chance and strategy, you get your choice of one of these 8 colorful captain cards. So at the beginning of the game, each player is dealt 2 captain cards that they get to choose from, and each captain has an A side and a B side featuring a different power that players can use. So for instance, Thunderbeard is a very powerful character. He has Thunderous Broadside. All of the value 1 and 2 treasure cards count as guns in battle, but are still scored as treasure. He also has another power called Hired Gun. Once per game during an attack, you may count one of your treasure cards, 1, 2, or 3, as both a gun and treasure. So as you can see, there's some risk reward depending on which power you want to use with each captain, and all of them have a unique spice to add to the game. Now, let's take a look at what this might look like when played out on the table. First, we'll want to shuffle the deck. I have an episode about this coming up as well. Each player is dealt 6 cards. In the first round, each player will select 3 of their cards to play to start building their ship. They will start building a ship by placing a card face up or with the bow showing, and any subsequent cards face down to build the ship, or another one bow up if they would like to start construction on another. Now that I've played 3 cards and all of the other players have played 3 cards, I get another 3. and the next round of shipbuilding begins. Oh, I continue to play 3 cards each round until I've constructed my fleet. So a total of 12 cards will be placed on the table by the time my fleet has been fully constructed. At that point, we will begin the marauding phase. Now, in the marauding phase, the very first turn any player takes must be an attack on another player. After that, they may choose to flee. Now you see I've already played my 12 cards on the table. That means I discard these 3 and we begin with marauding. So, first I will challenge another player. I'll select which one of my ships is going to fight against one of their ships. Then both players will turn over their face down cards, revealing the total number of guns and the amount of treasure that they have on board. Or maybe they have a bomb and they sink both ships and their treasure to the bottom of the sea. Whoever has the most guns wins. In the instance of a tie, the attacker wins. After the ships have been cleaned up as far as being destroyed, their guns removed from play, and the treasure collected, whoever won the face-off adds the treasure to their pile. At the end, when we've done with the marauding phase and players have each taken turns attacking each other or retreating, players will then count up how much treasure they've accrued, and whoever has the most wins the game. It's a lot of fun, and gameplay takes about 15 minutes per game. I will say that it can kind of feel off balance from time to time just due to the random nature of you never know what you're going to get. I've had games where I've gotten a ton of treasure and almost no guns and felt like there was nothing I could do to put up a fight. Now you can add a little extra spice by throwing in the Parrots and Monkeys expansion. As a standalone, it can play 2 to 3 players, but you can integrate the cards into the base pack and actually expand the amount of players the base pack can handle up to about 9. Now the Parrots and Monkeys expansion adds parrot and monkey cards. So what parrots do is they duplicate or count as a double for whatever the bow card is. So let's say I have this 5-gun bow card and I have a parrot face down as one of the stern cards. When I turn it over, that parrot makes another 5 guns. It does the same thing for treasure, which also happens to count towards the score. Now the monkey cards are a different type of trap akin to the bomb, but far worse in my opinion, because they count as a negative to the player's treasure count, and it's a -5 per monkey. So you can fill a ship full of monkeys if you happen to get a lucky or unlucky hand as you look at it, and have a player attack you thinking it's a juicy target, and no matter how much other treasure they get for the rest of the game, they're weighed down by those monkey cards when they're adding up their final total. It adds a whole new level of chaos to the game that's a lot of fun. Overall, I found this to be a really enjoyable ship battling game. The pirate motif was definitely a huge draw. I preferred to play without the captains myself, and I did think adding the Spanish Armada, if you're playing with only 2 players, was a lot of fun. Spanish Armada adds an NPC fleet that does not attack and is assembled by the other players as they're building their own fleet. So it basically just adds more targets to the battlefield and makes the game a little bit more fun by driving up the score. But overall, this is a fine game. What is it? Intended age 8+. I would say that it's perfect for that age range. I didn't think it was overly complicated. I had a lot of fun with it. It did take up a fair amount of table space when we were playing, but not much more than if you were playing Monopoly. So it's definitely not something that you want to play on like a really small table, like blackjack or poker. But if you have a little bit more space to spread out and move your fleets around and everything, yeah, this is definitely a great choice. So if you are interested in getting yourself a copy of Guns or Treasure, I do actually have an affiliate link in my description below. So any purchases help keep the lights on and keep me making great reviews for you. What's your favorite pirate-themed board or card game? Why don't you comment below and let me know? I'm always interested to find out if there are more exciting titles out there. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time.